up, guys? Let's talk about, I don't know why I always do these videos when I'm driving. I guess my mind is when I do a lot of thinking and stuff on the road, alone, I guess. But, I'm just thinking about where this all started, you know. Started. I guess it was when I was a little kid. And I've mentioned this like in my group before, you know. It started when I was a little kid, and you know, when you're a little kid, sorry about that. When you're a little kid, you believe everything, you know, like. You believe, like, pretty much whatever you're told, you believe. Your mind's still growing, you don't really know. You know, you believe in, turn this down. You believe, like, a magical man comes down the chimney, leaves gifts. You know, just stuff like that. And, you know, after this experience, my mind told me it wasn't what it was. And, you know, my eyes, I know what I saw, but my mind, being a little kid, said no, that was just a big dog or a bear or something like that. So, and then I was, you know, I agreed with my thoughts. Okay, that's all it was. But now that I'm older, and I've experienced a lot more and seen this stuff and been through it, I know now what I saw, you know. But one morning I was waiting on the school bus to come, and I'd always head out for school early. You know, my parents didn't know it, my sister didn't know, but I'd go out. I'd steal before school. I'd take a cigarette or something out my mom's pack, you know, or my dad's cigarette pack. And I didn't even know how to smoke back then. I mean, I'm talking, I was just a kid, maybe 10, 12, somewhere in that 9, somewhere in that range. I'm not even sure. I mean, I didn't even know how to inhale. I would just light it, puff on it, toss it down before my sister would come out. But anyways, you know, it was my normal routine. I'm going out. It's a little daylight, you know how school hours, dusk, I guess, or early dawn. But it was maybe about this time, you know, like you could see through the woods. There wasn't leaves or nothing. So, early spring. It's early spring or late winter. Late fall. Just to where you can see into the woods without all the cover. But I was out there. And I'd look back towards our house, or trailer we lived in, butted right up against the woods. And, you know, as kids, we'd always play in those woods. And I was pretty much a babysitter back in, you know. Back in those days, your parents would kick you out of the house until you'd be back at dark. They didn't check on you. Especially living in the country, you know. You didn't get checked on nothing. You go home and grab a sandwich once in a while, maybe a drink, but you'd be gone all day. That's what us and the neighbor kids would do. We'd go out there and catch stuff on fire, catch each other on fire, shoot each other with pellet guns. I mean, you name it, we was doing it. And it was all woods behind our house, though, and that was kind of our babysitter playground back then, you know. Big rocks, caves, vines, we'd swing off them rocks. But anyways, I'm getting off track. Our house butted right up with the woods, and I mean it was woods, you know. It's like house, maybe 10 feet, fence, and then thick woods up on to a ridge with a bunch of boulders and little caves and stuff. Well, there was this little barn set off to the right. And just above that barn, I remember I was out there. I went out a little early because I'd always go out and try hiding it, you know, before my sister would come out. She'd tell on me. But I remember hitting a cigarette, I'd turn around and look, and there's a little furry kid standing just in the woods above this barn on the bank, staring at me, watching me. And it was my size, you know. Like, it looked... And this is what's weird, because I guess it reminded me of me, you know. It was like my age, my size, covered in fur. And we just sat there and stared at each other. It seemed like forever. Like, it stared at me, I stared at it, and we just watched each other. Thinking back now, that this is where it all started. It all started with this right here, and but we stared at each other for, well, it seemed like forever, but it was 20 seconds, maybe 10 seconds, I don't know. Well, then, slam! We hear the screen door slams. My sister's coming out. Wait on the bus stop. This thing drops down on all fours and takes off. Like, it almost seemed like a ghost. Like it just floated through the woods. It was so smooth. The movements were so smooth. And it was on all fours, you know. It just dropped down, and you know that's. I wish I could go back to those woods. But it's private property. The guy we rented off of back in still owns the land. I don't know, he might let me get back up in there, and I could record it and show everybody the area I'm talking about to help understand what this place looked like. But it was big rock boulders. This is all cool country where I live, you know. And it's closed down now, but the remains are still here, you know. The big high walls, rock mounds, which there wasn't any high walls here, but on out there was, you know. And but this thing went up over them rocks, not even missing a beat, you know. There wasn't no. It was just so smooth, you know, like it floated up and over, and then vanished into that rock pile. And that rock pile was like us kids' jungle gym, you know. We was always playing on that rock pile, shooting chipmunks with our pellet guns. I mean, that was. And I got scared, and I didn't say anything. I didn't tell my sister. I never told anybody, you know, until I got into this stuff here, the cryptid world. But. And I just remember I couldn't wait. I was so scared because I'd never seen anything like that. And you know, then my mind starts like telling me, okay, that was the neighbor's Great Dane. No, that was a bear. That wasn't a furry kid. Now, we know it wasn't a furry kid. You know, my mind's telling me this, and it's like, man, I need to get on the bus before this thing comes down here and gets me. You know, I'm a little kid. I'm scared. But it was just as scared as I was, you know. That door slammed, and man, this thing it dropped. And it didn't have any problem at all with me staring at it. Like, taking each other in, you know, like we was just sitting there like glued to one another. Like it was it was its first time seeing me, my first time seeing it, and we just couldn't quit staring at one another. And it was maybe 30 yards away. But when that door slammed, when my sister came out, this thing took off like a rocket. Like it dropped on all fours. You know how when you watch a deer move or something like that, you can see the up and down, the bouncing from its feet, hitting and pushing, you know? This didn't do that, man. This was up and over them rocks like a ghost. And then just vanished into that pile. But then I start seeing the bus coming, and you know I'm happy. I'm like, and that was the fastest I've ever got on that bus. And as the bus starts pulling away, I'm watching the woods, looking for this thing, and it's nowhere to be seen. Well, then I might have told my sister I think I just seen a bear up in those woods. And I feel bad now because, you know, my mom, a couple years later, she heard howling just behind our place. We was all at our dad's for staying for a couple of weeks during the summer. And when we got back, my mom was telling us a story about this. Something came down behind the trailer and just screamed. Like, she said she was so scared she hid down underneath the window because she didn't know what was going on. Our dog's out back crying and yelping. And, you know, afterwards, all the neighbors, they all went outside. And our neighbor next door was standing there and he said, "That was Bigfoot. You know, that was a Bigfoot back here yelling." And you know, as a kid, my mind convinced me when I was younger, earlier, when that happened, earlier, my experience that it wasn't what my eyes saw. You know? And I didn't really question my mom. I believed her, but I didn't believe her, if that makes any sense. Like, yeah, Mom, I don't know. You know, so, okay, I believe you something's back here hollering. Bigfoot, I don't know. And I just, looking back now, after everything I've been through over the last 3 years, I know exactly what my mom heard. I know exactly what I saw when I was a kid. Exactly where it started. And my mom seen one when she was younger. Also, when she was doing dishes. They lived out in the country. You live in the country, you don't have many curtains on your windows. She's doing dishes. She said she looked out her front window, or out her kitchen window. She had a Bigfoot sitting there out the window staring at her. So did this all start with my mom? Is it something with our blood? Or is it just the area, you know? But I might have to make several parts of this video. But, alright, I'm going to stop this. I'm going to do another part. Peace.